It's your boy Skengdo.
Hey.
Mali, AM.
No.
What's going on, boys? You good though, yeah?
Yeah, man. More
I
blessed.
really wanted to talk to all of you guys about this. So obviously everyone knows about this whole, is her name Lani? Lani situation and Tion situation, right? So obviously for people that have tuned in, there's, what would you call her, an influencer, blogger? What is she? A YouTuber?
A troublesome woman.
Oh, wow, I hear that. So there's a YouTuber who's basically claiming that obviously Tion Wayne, they were in a relationship or they were dating or whatever it was, and that he apparently finessed him for 8K. And yeah, she's basically just gone out to social media and has been getting at him and saying the most. But my thing is about that whole situation, obviously I know you guys have gone quiet as soon as I said names. It's funny that. But I want to know, if you guys got into a situation like that, how would you guys handle it? Because I know obviously you guys are only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So let's say you may have your past exes or girls that you've dated. If they did something like that to you guys, what would you do? And Nobere, what would you do as well? I want to know.
No scandals. There ain't no scandals around me, man.
Oh, mad.
From the jump, remember us, man, we ain't new to girls. So from the jump of this music thing, we make sure all corners are tied up and secure.
I love that.
So
no, I love that. I love
to the
that.
point, man, trust me, like my DMs is, the man them can go in my DMs if they want. You know what I mean? Like my managers, my DMs is open, so there ain't no funny business. None of that. Like anything, it will get drawn out by the root. I've got receipts for days. I'll shut up the same day. Next topic. Because the thing is, it's just what's popping today. This topic here, unless people give life to it every other day, it's gonna die. And it's the next. What's next? What's popping? You know what I mean?
I feel like you're one of those guys that, what do you call it when they have to sign something? So before, you know them guys, like, what do you call it?
The disclaimer.
Yeah, I feel like you're one of them guys, like if you were dating someone, you'd be like, you gotta sign this first before anything else.
I feel to.
Can I just
say, done it, but hey.
Let me just weigh in. I was gonna say, my bro, that is one of the best answers I've ever heard.
Your media trained.
No. But this, you see here, and we're recording this, which is good. That is how you get into this situation and cover your bases. Because you're right, you're probably like me, I don't like mess. And the thing is, look, they've patterned it correctly, and that's the way it should be. I don't blame that.
Business.
He doesn't like mess. You can just see, you've got just a little bit of effort. And there we go. That's one of the best answers.
I just find it funny. I just feel like you guys are just going to be on sidetrack this whole interview. And it's winding me up already, seriously.
No, I just feel this. As I said, look, at the end of the day, you know what I mean, he's gone out there to make sure that he's patterned his sort of situation. And look, these guys are going to get bigger and bigger, you're right. So unfortunately, you're going to get more people, the more money, the more fame that you're going to get. You're going to get more people trying to jump on that wave. And why should they jump on the wave that you guys have worked hard? They've done the studio time, they've done their time to get where they need to get to. And why? Because it was a link or something happened in the past that you feel you can just jump on. Why is it relevant? Why do we even want to know that you've done a thing?
I just feel like you guys are all media trained. Yeah, and that's why you're saying this. But there's a lot of rappers who don't think about things like that, and this is why they get into situations like this. Do you see what I'm saying? I can see you in a situation like this, Nobere. You're messy as hell. You're messy as hell. But even moving on with the gossip and stuff like that, obviously today, what's his name? Rishi Sunak.
Rishi Sunak, yeah.
He basically said that obviously that struggling creatives or musicians should basically just give up doing their career. How do you guys feel about that? Because for me, I'm like, that's obviously gonna hurt a lot of people.
I think that's a bit rude.
What?
A bit rude. It's a bit ignorant. You can't just say that, car. At the end of the day, someone that's given up what they was doing initially and put 100% into their passion, you can't just say as if like, yeah, alright, cool, get some new skills, get another job, you know what I mean? Like it's discrediting what they worked for. It's like a lawyer that's done all them years in law school, they're now in their field, and then you just say, you know what, the law thing's not really gonna work out for you lot. You lot just train and do something else. So what's all my hard work done for, you know what I mean? So instead of finding another solution or something that can help them along the way, and funding maybe or something, you know what I mean? Can't just tell them to find another avenue. That's a bit nuts.
And for me, I feel like he's gotten to a point where he just doesn't know what to do anymore, because again, he needs to find funding to help people get jobs and stuff like that. And I think he said that because he literally doesn't know what to do anymore. But what do you think about it, Nobere?
Yeah, no, I think it's some fair points. made. The funny thing that we have to take into consideration, I agree with you on a lot of that, because it's not only people in the music industry. I know there's a lot of, like, obviously the cinemas now, like Cineworld. It's not my cinema, I'd rather go View, but Cineworld is closed now because obviously not a lot of people are going anymore. The Bond film, so they're gonna either tell staff to just, you know, not come back until the new year. That's sad. So the arts, like, I know theatres as well are suffering. So it just puts into perspective with the problems that's going on now with this coronavirus and the job losses and stuff, that the arts and music is not really high in the agenda for them. So I could definitely see that. I'm not surprised because, listen, being ethnic, look, my mum being Ghanaian, you know, what he said today is what I expect ethnics to say anyway. If this was another politician, I would have been like, maybe he'll be, but for Indian man or for African or Caribbean parents, they're going to be telling you, listen, look, the money ain't coming in. You need to find something else to do. So, of course, it's harsh, but I'm not surprised. And this is a conservative government as well. I'm not surprised. Skengdo, what's your thoughts on it?
Same as you, really. Like, I'm not really surprised, bro.
You're glistening right now, by the way.
Thank you.
Glistening.
You know, people say that I can't stop smiling. It's mad, but yeah, my points are pretty much the same as yours, bro. You know what I mean? I feel like people's gotta eat, bro. We gotta eat, bro. Do you know what I mean? There's people like me and AM that put everything into this, regardless of the situation. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's going on, or do you know what I mean? We're still gonna make it happen and do what we gotta do. So I feel like someone to say that is just very, like, unthoughtful and disheartens a lot of people that might not have it like well off as others and just coming up in this thing. Or it's unfortunate, but you know what I mean.
Can you guys, obviously you lot told me obviously you were just got a plan to just, you know, school, college, go, and you obviously did well in your GCSEs and stuff. Where did the music come? Like, how did the music start for both of you individually? I'll ask you first, AM. Where did it start?
So obviously, I had like a academic route in my head initially. Obviously, the street stuff was always there. Was always a factor. But school days are young, so it's not really that deep. Then when you hit college, you get more friends. Your batches start to get like you go. I was going to college with all my friends from the ends now.
Yeah,
my school was in West. Yeah, so now I'm like, yeah, we're ganged off. And then obviously, that's how it gets. You get kicked out of college. Then you're thinking, oh man, da 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 da. And then you end up with bare time. So we just had bare time. Was bored. Was doing music. Skeng was doing music like before me, so it was like actually releasing and recording songs, but I was just doing it as for banter, you know what I mean? The man were on me because I put everything on SoundCloud. They're like, nah, you need to go do a song, do a track. So I went to the studio with the man, done a little track.
How was the first, because we'll talk to you in a minute again, but how was the first, because it's fine that your boys are telling you, yeah, you should do this, but how was the first studio?
Like initially, car. I had my songs on SoundCloud, but I was recording my songs in my computer garage band, innit? On my computer at home. So I'm like, I need to go studio. I was Googling the studios local, and there was one studio got closed. I was like, where am I gonna find studio? And these obviously Skeng had already been recording, so I was like, let me follow them studio. Let me see what it's actually like, innit? We've gone studio. I'm in there. I think the first time we went, I didn't write nothing. I didn't spit. Then the second time we went to that studio, I spat the bars. And we made 2 songs. We made Kick Down Doors and Hammers. And then, but I was just thinking, we're just making it for the sake of it. But I'm in the booth, like my voice sounded. That's the first time I heard my voice sound mad. Yeah. Got the headphones. I'm like, why?
This is it.
25, got 20. I was like, oh snaps! And then obviously, then we just left out. Then eventually done like a couple. It might have been a month or 2 later. Ended up getting it shot, and then that came.
So it's kind of like, because you said the first time you didn't actually write anything, or was that kind of you soaking up the?
No, I just wrote. Obviously, the man were rolling booth. I'm like, let me roll. You know what I mean? I just wanted to see what was going on. And I'm thinking, now we need to get in, and I'm trying to put something on this because everything I had on SoundCloud was literally computer. I was trying to. I didn't even know how to engineer, so I was just trying to make it sound good and playing with auto-tune and all of these things. But so then we ended up going in with these lot, and then it was lit.
Yeah. What's interesting with the type of music you do as well, is that there's a lot of people that can relate to it, and I think that's why you've done so well. But there's also other people that feel like it's been a negative towards people's lives and stuff. So in that sense, what's your view on that? Because I know you guys have heard bare people say, oh, drill music's this, drill music stuff in a negative way. For me, I've always said that I feel like you guys are basically telling your truths and people can relate to that. But what would you guys say?
I would say focus on the positivity. 'Cause I try to focus on the positivity. There's already enough negativity around, surrounding like what we got going on in our environment and stuff like that, which is obviously slowly but surely we're trying to make it better. But it's just like you said, we're speaking our truth. So yeah, I don't wake up every day and see flowers and that. And I don't know, living in Dubai and that. Like I was
waking up in.
You know what I mean? I'm not waking up in Dubai, and we could talk about all the jet skiing and that. Like it'll be nice to you, but I live in.
Your reality is different.
Exactly.
You know what it is? I've always said, anyone that takes offense, like there's people that actually hear this music and they get so offended. And a lot of the times it hurts because people of our same background and that our same colour, like maybe they're older and they don't get. I'm talking about maybe even like 5 years older and they don't get, and they're like, this, I hate this drill music, it's just so negative. But I'm thinking, why don't you have that energy? Why don't you think, hold on, they're actually living like that? Because we live like that day in, day out. This is what we see. But no one has that energy. No one thinks, how can people in London live like that? What can we do to help? But the minute we start talking about it and putting in music and making it public and making people see it, they get offended. And I'm like, alright, cool. So if you stop our music, stop all of that, is that stopping us from living it? Why is it fair that we have to live like that?
I feel like it was the moment we started getting, not we, just us two, but the industry, drill artists started getting paid for it. It was like the streaming, everyone found out, you could get peace from streaming, and it got bigger. I feel like that's when all of this kind of hating thing just
talk about you're getting paid off the stabbings of I'm like, bro, we're getting nothing off of getting stabbed and getting, do you know what I mean? So
there was loads of articles as well, like towards Link Up and GRM, and they were saying that those platforms were the ones that were pushing like music like that, and I was like, are you being serious? Platforms like that have helped rappers. I
don't feel like they only think about just the rappers. It's bigger than that. What about all the engineers, the producers, the videographers, the photographers, all of these people that shoot, work with drill artists, do you know what I mean? They all somehow managed to find their lane and get a job that they probably wouldn't have been able to get if they wasn't involved with drill artists.
And most importantly, the people that actually listen to your music and think, like this man's gone through what I've gone through. I think that's what people tend to forget. Because again, we hear, like you said, we see this glamorous lifestyle. Not a lot of people are living that.
No, that's a very fair point. So let's keep because there's listeners at home that are the older generation. I'm a little bit of the older generation, and there's always going to be
What's
questions.
your view on this, Nobere?
No, it is. No, it's good.
About this before.
Yeah, do you know why it's good? Is because there should be more dialect and conversations for me like this, because now for me, I'm just looking at young black guys that could be my brother, could be my cousin, and I don't want you to die, straight up, because killing in London has been going on from the 90s, like it's not no different. So I think there was some sort of, I won't say a misunderstanding, but I think the older generation have to realise that is your outlet to push your reality of what's going on. But for when you're a little bit older, you might not be on the bus no more. Like we've got houses now, innit? Or we're driving everywhere. So we've got to take into consideration that the youngers are still on the road. So when we're seeing mindless killing, because that's what happens, the older you get, you become more fearful. Like when you're young, listen, when we're kids, I was doing madness on bikes. Like I would take a risk, I'm thinking, even when I was driving. Now, I've got a lot to lose, do you know what I mean? The young family stuff. So this conversation that you've had is wicked because it opens the dialect, because now we can sit down and think, okay, cool, that is how you're expressing. But how do you feel that the olders, not all are hating, some might be hating because the money's coming in, but they're generally like, bro, like, I don't want to see any more killing. Like, I kind of feel that some people are intelligent enough to say, nah, AM and Skeng, I like what they're doing. The way you're talking on radio, for me, it's inspiring. You're talking about doing well in your exams, people telling you can't make it in school. That's inspiring. But some kids might not have that mind to think, nah, these guys are doing stuff, they've worked hard, they might just think, I'm just on this road thing. And that's all they're taking from your music. I think that those those kids, those are the ones that the elders are kind of concerned with. Not the kids that got something in their brain that they're thinking, no, these men are talking about the reality and look what they're doing. It's inspiring. That's how you should do. So how do you feel with that sort of angle?
I feel like even any ends that accepts are done, that just comes and they see the last and like, yeah, I want to be, but it's rare. I don't really, well, where I'm from, it don't really happen like that.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the times people's already involved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are involved by default. They don't even have the choice. It's just, even us, like, it's not like we signed up and said, yeah, our batch, the ones that they call gang is who we've been with from where they're from we was kids. So there ain't no difference. We was just in it. You know what I mean? We was just involved. So it's like, and like people are eating. No one's really that dumb to see. Like, if you're talking about the roads, all the music you hear. I said this the other day. When people are talking about jail, has anyone said, "Rah, I was in jail. Everyone sent money to me. This. It was a great experience." Everyone talks about jail's dead.
Yeah.
No one don't check for you. They talk about the realities of it. They talk about this and that got touched. But this and that got touched. We got touched. This, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's getting. So when you're hearing, I'm gonna go out there and be big and bad. The same song you're listening to is telling you
The repercussions.
You know what I mean? Repercussions.
Yeah.
And if you've done something to someone's on the other end of that knife. You get it? So in your head, you'll be able to say, hold on. There's kids out there that hear that and be like, yeah, I like the music, but I ain't getting involved. I ain't trying to get stabbed. Do you know what I mean? Somebody that thinks, forget, like, I don't care about getting stabbed, I'm in this thing, they're probably in it already. I don't think no one's ever going to listen to the music and be like, this music is so good,
I would leave my nice
I'll
life.
risk getting stabbed, I'll risk getting shot, and they see it. You'll probably grow up and you'll see it. You see the videos on YouTube, you see all of this, people getting chased, people getting this, that, shot at.
Like you said before, the drugs.
You know what I mean? No, I feel like you're real stupid if you see that and think, yeah, I'm gonna risk it all for nothing. Because I heard a song and I want to be like them. So, but I feel like a lot of people overlook that, and a lot of people think, no, it's influential, and that's when the whole argument comes about, cool, Scarface in the cinemas, all these other films in the cinemas. Who really leaves there and says, I'm gonna start a drug empire from today?
I think this is what I'm trying to say. I'm glad that you guys are come on, because these are the sort of conversations that I think we all have. I think there has to be a cross-generational conversation, because sometimes you got elders that might be hating, it might be the money, or they might actually generally just be looking out for the next generation, because you've got a next generation under you that you're going to be looking at and thinking, these guys are moving stupid, but I was there. Do you know what I mean? I was there. But you're right in terms of the narrative, in terms of violence. It's very interesting. So, for example, years ago, I'm going to go off point but come back, but years ago when 50 Cent dropped Get Rich or Die Trying, they attempted to, because he was holding a baby but he was holding a gun. But a lot of the advertising in America banned the fact that he was holding a gun. Now, the narrative is weird because that same year, I believe, or around about after, you had James Bond holding a Kalashnikov. Not even like a little gun, like a Kalashnikov. So for people looking at that, they're like, well, it's fine, you're right. It's fine for James Bond to hold a Kalashnikov because he's a white secret agent, so he's not going to inspire people to shoot. But if you, man, or 50 Cent is holding it, then it's going to push another narrative. But I guess that's something that we have to deal with.
That's the generation we live in, isn't it?
What annoys me is I don't get to have this conversation with people. Everyone I meet understands us. I'm just like, nah, I want someone to not understand so I can argue, because I have that, I want to argue. Even when we went to the parliament, we actually went there to debate with people that had opposing views. Those people didn't turn up.
They didn't turn up.
Nope.
They didn't.
You know, there's a lot of people that don't agree with you. Like, I've had arguments with so many people because they don't agree with your music. And they're slating, like, mate, he needs to meet the people that I'm meeting, because I'm here arguing
But this is what I'm trying to say. These are the conversations. That's the only way that you're gonna grow or get a better understanding. Because what you've explained to me, I just thought, to be fair, whether I'm worried for the younger generation or not, that is your way of expressing.
When did you guys get to the heights of your career and felt like, right, I can't believe that we're in this moment together?
They must be living it every. You must still be living it.
You must have that moment where you're thinking, right, I can't believe I've just done that.
I feel like there's been separate like moments. Like, it ain't just been one. There's been a few of them, and one of them would be Vegas. Me and Ian weren't even 21. So what we're doing, even in America, you can't really do nothing in America.
Do you remember what year did you guys go to Vegas? Do you remember?
18, was it?
Yeah, I think it was 18.
So it's a good place, isn't it?
Yeah, like, it was a good place, but again, like, we were
I had a good time in Vegas. I'm not even gonna lie. I went for my boy's stag do. There's 20 of us there. It's the city that says yes. If you got the money,
I just feel like you're just such a creep.
I'm being real.
You know, it is. Vegas is mad still. Like,
We're talking about Vegas and you're
Sorry, I'm just because you're bringing me back to those good.
nah.
Good time.
Oh man, yeah. Sorry, it's not my interview. Yeah. Let's go back to Vegas. Though.
yeah, no, Vegas is mad still. Like, obviously, we were at 21, yeah, innit? So it was limited to a few things, but it was just like where we were staying in like the mad penthouse and that. It was like 60-something floor. Just mad, like we had a swimming pool on our balcony and stuff like that. We're just like, raw, like this is mad. Like, is this what the music thing? We're shooting a video out there. It was just all like crazy. Like it was just coming from Brixton, literally into Vegas was nuts.
It's all about the lavish lifestyle, I can tell. I love it.
Listen, it's hard.
I
can live it up. I won't lie to you. Trust me. You gotta live it up.
What about you, AM? What was your specific moment where you thought, rah?
Better than though. It was Vegas, LA. Our first booking. So we came and supported our dads initially in one of his shows, but it wasn't really our audience, and we was quite new in it. So the crowd was alright. We didn't really. It was crazy though. All that shouting. We had like 30 man on stage shouting. Then we had a booking in Wolves.
Yeah.
Wolverhampton. It was he was the headliner, and then we was a surprise special guest.
Yeah,
so they didn't know it was coming.
Didn't even know it was coming.
The reception was mad. Mad.
And that's out of the city as well to get that. Yeah. Is that when you kind of feel to yourself? Of course, with Bricky, you're gonna hope to get the support there, but does this take a whole different sort of level when it's out of the city, like Wolverhampton and Birmingham, and people are banging your tunes and they know it? Like, tell me that feeling, because you guys, it just comes from the mind. You write it down, you go to the studio. But I always ask artists, when you've got crowds of people that you've never seen before, and they're spitting your lyrics back to you, just both of you, obviously individually, just tell us that feeling, because there's people that will never get to be an artist and will never experience that. And guys, once this COVID stuff is done, I know it's going to get even bigger. You go to your festivals and the crowd will get bigger. In Jesus' name, I bless you. That's what's going to happen, you know what I mean? But tell me that feeling, like.
And I won't lie, see tour, yeah. The way I envisioned my tour, I thought it was gonna be bare brothers, bare youths, like, because that's the type of music we made. See, when I looked into the crowd, and the demographic was literally white kids.
Yeah.
Like 70%. I was like, what? I was so bad. I was confused. I'm like, why? How do you like our stuff? Like, I didn't know you lot listen to our stuff. So I was kind of shocked. Like, they all going crazy, mosh pits, everything. And yeah, it's even like we never really got a chance to look at the tour and sit back and think,
okay. Was it just non-stop? Yeah.
Literally done the tour, then we was done the next thing, then was on a flight to LA, then come back in Junction. You know what I mean? There, just everything just kept happening. The next tour, So all till now, I've never actually sat back and said, like, yes,
I like that. You're still
running through. Obviously, there's still a lot going on, but I feel like it's gonna reach a point, maybe let's say we bought a house or in another country. That's where we'd be at. And you just sit back and you can look back and say, yeah, done.
Come far, yeah. That's dope. What about yourself in terms of people? You know, he's already to let us know about how it is when you've got, white kids, middle class white kids, you know what I mean, that are rapping back to you and love you. How is it when your lyrics are getting rapped back to you? Like, how can you explain it to the listeners at home? The feeling, the euphoria that...
I don't know that I can't really explain the feeling, it's just it's a nice feeling, definitely. Like, I feel like proud of myself that I know I've made the reach has gone that far. Do you know what I mean? Because some people actually don't even really make it out of like where they're from. Like, their music doesn't reach past that. So for it to reach to these different places, even when we go like Europe and stuff, like places in Europe, and we'll get this Swedish don or this French don be like, Skengdo, why so rude? It's like, raw, like,
that you're
a proper, you're a supporter. I respect your thing. I like it. It's a nice feeling. I was shocked at the start, but now I'm kind of used to it. But I'm still very appreciative of it. Like, you know what I mean? Cause there's still many places where we haven't been heard.
And that's the thing with the coronavirus, that must have just kind of like put a skid on everything for you, because the way you're talking and the way they're talking, they're going to LA, Wolverhampton, and it's just non-stop. So what have you been doing? You must be bored, innit?
I came back. I went to Miami. I went to Miami. in March.
Everyone loves Dubai, innit?
Okay.
That was our first time.
Okay.
Going out Miami, I'm thinking when I get back, we're gonna tour. It's crazy. As soon as I left out to Miami, coronavirus started to kind of kick in fully, where they was doing lockdown and stuff. So people were like, "No, come back. You're gonna get stuck out there." All of that.
That was the thing. Anybody that was abroad in March.
No.
Yeah.
But obviously, I made it back. As soon as we got back, lockdown. It felt surreal. Like masks everywhere. Like you can't drive. Like the roads are empty.
Yeah, you couldn't drive at the big. I've completely forgot about that. No, unless it was like
was
I remember
empty.
driving.
I'll tell you right now, quickly. In my notes, I still got a park. There's a park here, not far from mine, that I used to put on a time frame, so that if the police stop me, I showed them like, look, I was just coming from the, and it's still in my calendar now. I put it there forever.
But that's a memory to think back on 2020, because you had to let you know, like it's an essential journey, isn't it? So you had to do it. What about yourself? Like, how has it been for this COVID-19? It's kind of put a skid, as I said.
Definitely did, but it was kind of calm at the same time though.
Time to yourself.
And time with our families. Like, separately, me and Aim's always in a different country, always in studio, always doing a video. So, and our parents work as well. So, the times that we might be out, they'll be in, vice versa. Do you know what I mean? So, I feel like it was good in the sense of you get to spend quality time with your loved ones and stuff like that. You saved a bit of money.
Yeah.
So that's for sure. Like all the unnecessary spending that we was doing, everything was closed. You know what I mean? So it was all right, but as far as music, I would have definitely just liked to be in the studio, doing videos without getting hassled, all of that stuff, the normal stuff that we do.
What can we expect to end the year from you guys?
You want to tell them?
Are you going to reveal? Are we getting exclusives?
I got loading. I got stuff loaded. A lot of stuff loaded. Skeng got a lot of stuff loaded.
100%.
You guys are not giving me much.
You know, his car, as you can see recently in like the past 2 months, we've both been releasing like at least I got probably like 3 videos out. Skeng probably got like 2. Like, you know what I mean? So all I can say is it's gonna keep going. There's no more stopping, breaks, waiting. Had enough of that. So it's gonna keep pushing, pressure, and features. Because a lot of the time people was a bit, because we personally, we didn't really do features like that. It's only us two throughout the whole 3 years. We do features with people local to us, but I wasn't really a fan of the energy of like with other artists, and I'm a bit reserved. You know what I mean? I'm not really that type of guy to be just gelling with people I don't really know, and then they start behaving weird and do it. So I just thought, you know what? Cool, let's just do us. We don't really need all of that to get that.
There's another artist that came on this show, we're not going to say his name, that said the exact same thing. He was like, he doesn't like features because he feels like the industry energy is off.
No, but the industry is therefore a big game. It's a big game whereby if an artist does something, like you can't feel away, because that's not how it works. Like some people make business moves, and it might be like you've met them and they're proper cool. Then when it comes time to work, they move off. But they won't really show you, and they'll make up something and it's like and in my head I'm thinking, I would have just showed you, like, right, ain't really that, real. You know what I mean? But I understand that sometimes it's not that easy, or this, so you can't really hold feelings because you're just gonna cop block yourself. And even when it comes to like channels, YouTube channels, and industry people and things like that, you can't just have a hood mentality and think, nah, if I feel like you're trying to dummy me, I'm gonna bang out on you and never work with you. You know what I mean? You're just gonna have to learn how it works and learn how to just do your thing. So that's why more time it was me and Skeng. But now we got features loading still. We're loading up on features that people's been asking for.